Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Carmine Sabia for Explain America, and the news is getting really tough for Stormy Daniels. Her move, it just backfired. Before we get started, please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Those little things really help us out, and they help our channel continue to grow. This week, Stormy Daniels' former attorney, Mr. Davidson, took the stand, and he was an unmitigated disaster for the prosecution. How bad of a disaster was he? How much did he help former President Donald Trump's defense? Well, I'll tell you. It was so disastrous for Alvin Bragg, for Stormy Daniels, for Michael Cohen, and for their prosecution or persecution of former President Donald Trump that MSNBC was calling it a disaster. MSNBC, the We Hate Trump network, was calling it a disaster. I want you to watch this clip and let me know what you think. As always, please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'm Carmine Sabia for Explain America. We love you guys. God bless you. Take care, everybody.
How has Davidson been as a witness for the prosecution?
I think Davidson is one in a line of difficult witnesses that have already come before and are going to be coming in this trial. This is a messy trial and sort of gives us all a crack into what this sordid world is about between the National Enquirer and selling stories. It's not pretty to watch.
Catherine, what about you?
So he was helpful in that he established that there was a payoff that he negotiated with Michael Cohen, but he was helpful to the defense because he has, particularly since the prosecution didn't bring out some of his bad acts on their direct examination, he appears to be, in the defense view, just a lawyer who shakes down people, whether it was Hogan, or other people. That's what he did, and maybe that's what happened here. That's what the defense will say. This was a shakedown of Donald Trump. This wasn't about paying someone as an illegal campaign contribution. This was a shakedown. And Michael Cohen, again, it's an understatement to say how difficult a witness he is for the prosecution.
Okay, so we have our next witness. And tell me if you guys know him, a man named Douglas Dowse, New York District Attorney's Office. He's a high technology analyst. He processes digital evidence and extraction of digital devices.
He's a boring authentication witness. So there's some video, audio, or some tape that they want to bring into evidence, and he's the one who's going to establish it was not tampered with or altered in any way.
So they're going to introduce a piece of evidence, and he's going to say this is legit, and then will there be a cross on this?
You don't cross on that.
No. Okay. All right. So we've got an hour left of court. We'll see if this guy, Doug Dowse, goes quickly. We'll also see what he's there to authenticate in a moment. Donald Trump has been, according to reporting, unhappy with Todd Blanche. He wants Todd Blanche to be more of a pit bull. He wants his, God, it's such a cliche now. He wants his Rory Cohn. Emil Bovee today went after Keith Davidson pretty hard. Really dirtied him up, talked about all the stuff that he'd been involved with, this payoff for somebody who was stealing records about Lindsay Lohan's rehab time, talking about his dealings with Hulk Hogan, moments where he was investigated, just putting him into a very seedy world of not even tabloid journalism looks clean in comparison. A seedy world of payoffs for celebrities who don't want information to get out there. And celebrities might even be a friendly term. Some of these characters were aspiring celebrities, put it nicely. How has Emil Bovee done in the expectations of a client like Donald Trump?
Donald Trump is obviously a challenging client. Many clients are challenging. He's probably one of the hardest. I think that Todd Blanche is well known as a very good attorney, but he's a former federal prosecutor. A federal courtroom is a much more gentle, more buttoned up, more decorum courtroom, and is maybe not the performance that Donald Trump is expecting. And as you said, a harder hitting cross-examination from Bovee is maybe what President Trump wants.
Catherine?
And that was hard hitting, but it was completely appropriate, and that's what you want for a cross-examination from a defense attorney. He knew what he was doing. And people on that jury, and you never want to read a juror's mind, they were left with the impression, oh, this guy is a sleazy lawyer. That's the impression. And will that make them, he's not telling the truth? But again, he did not put himself and Donald Trump together. It's him Mr. Davidson and Mr. Cohen. Really, him saying, I thought that he meant Trump, is not that it was Trump.
I'm still struck by the need of the prosecution to get somebody who witnessed it or heard it directly from Donald Trump or witnessed him signing the documents and knew that it was an invoice for more than legal services. Who is that person going to be? They had Ronna Graff on a little bit earlier, but she was only on for a few minutes.
All she could say was, these two women are in his contacts, and I might have seen Miss Daniels in the waiting room. The charge is, if you're going to go back to it, is falsifying business records. It is not illegal in New York to put false entries in your business records. It becomes illegal if it's done with the intent to defraud, and it becomes a felony with the intent to commit or conceal another crime. So the prosecution has to prove that beyond a reasonable doubt. And so far, we haven't got there yet.
All right, we're going to dive back into the courtroom in a few minutes. Catherine and Adam, stick around. Coming up next, I want to talk about media silos, how people get their information, and what that's going to mean for the upcoming election. We're so focused on this courthouse. Is anyone else? Don't go anywhere.